Welcome to the Sandler Training Hour podcast. In the past, we've had a radio show that's run locally in Idaho, and we're transitioning to a more digital format. So we're with Sandler Training in Boise, Idaho. We specialize in sales and management training for small to medium-sized organizations that are looking to take their people to the next level. They've either got the right people in the right spot, but they don't have the right tactics to finish it and to close enough business to validate expanding their workforce, or they've just hit the plateau that we all hit where we've grown to a certain point and the people who got us where we are aren't going to take us to the next level without a significant change in either the culture or the training of the organization. And today we're going to be spending some time talking about motivating your sales team. And Jim, I thought we could talk about it from the vantage point of the success triangle, which is behavior, attitude, and technique. So tell me a little bit about how we should work to motivate our sales force, and choose whichever spot on the BAT triangle you want.
Yeah, I think the real benefit that the model of the success triangle offers is the synchronicity of understanding how three different attributes play together to create success. So in your mind's eye, if you can envision a triangle, the very peak of the triangle is attitude. Our attitude is really how do I feel about fill in the blank, myself, my company, the marketplace, the culture, the product that we're offering, the ability the company has to deliver the product we offer. All of these things influence our attitude, which has a direct correlating interaction with our behavior. So the lower left-hand point of the triangle is behavior, and behavior is really the activities required to meet the expectations of my role. Oftentimes for me, what I measure and track in the behavior side of the triangle is the things that I don't do naturally. I don't really need to track how I respond, how many calls I respond to, because I am going to respond to the calls. What I do need to track are the proactive things that are going to net a positive influence in my future. So understanding the behaviors that are going to lead me to success, and then getting my head screwed on straight so that I'm in alignment with them. I was in a conversation with one of our clients, and we were talking about doing door knocking or door pulls. If you're in a business to business or business to consumer sales, it's knocking on doors and just starting up conversations in a neighborhood that you've targeted working in or in a specific business. In order to do that, I have to have an attitude that says, this is something that could be successful. It's a part of my role, and I embrace doing it. My behavior is actually doing it. The technique, the third point of the triangle, is how I do it. What do I say? What is the pattern interrupt that I use when somebody answers the door? So all of these work together to help create a model that you can use as a manager to help not only manage your people, but also manage yourself. Very often. Go ahead.
Yeah, so two takeaways I'm hearing from you are, when it comes to the BAT triangle, and if we started at behavior, we would want to measure behaviors that we're not actively doing and that aren't strengths. Because if we're measuring things that we are actively doing and our strengths, we're sort of just giving ourselves a goal that we're going to achieve naturally.
Yeah, we're writing the to-do list after we've done it, just so we can scratch it off.
Yeah, so when it comes to motivating a sales force, and maybe I'm a manager that doesn't give a lot of good positive feedback frequently, what are some ways I can, what sort of behaviors would really be things that I should track in order to get better results from my people?
Well, I think the first thing you have to come to grips with is your people are not going to be motivated by what motivates you.
Okay.
Many sales managers manage by giving a specific task and or mission and assume that that will be compelling enough for someone to take action. Well, it kind of is, but how much energy are they going to put behind it? Not a lot if it doesn't hold their passion.
So what's the
So
attitude a sales manager needs?
curiosity, what is it? Understanding that my motivators are not yours, and then having the curiosity to say, what motivates you, and how can I help paint the picture that would align my goals for you with what motivates you?
So we
Because
need to do
if
a
you'll drive towards that personal motivator, your success is going to be much higher. And then the behavior, it may clearly be the same behavior. There may not be much of a choice.
sure.
Like let's take prospecting. If part of my, let's say 50% of my activities need to be hunting for net new business, there's key things I'm going to need to do to accomplish that behavior wise. As
Yeah.
a manager, I can coach you with what attitude will motivate you to do it well and what technique will work to help you be successful in it.
So I have two options as a manager who's looking to motivate my sales force. I can do the analysis and the work on my own to figure out what motivates them and then build behavior goals around their motivators, or I could do the things that I think that they need and just hope that that's good enough.
Yeah. And that may well be what you've been doing for years, and
Mm,
it might be working. The
yeah.
question is, am I getting as much horsepower as I could if I had a little bit of a different approach?
Right. So if you're doing some self-analysis on what Jim's saying, you might consider, has what I've been doing been working for me? In which case, well, would some sort of change be bad, or could there be improvement? And if it hasn't been working for you, then you can think about the technique that you've been using, right? It's
Yeah,
either you're doing the wrong thing, or maybe you're doing the right thing in the wrong way.
yeah. And perhaps it's worth taking a step back and saying the most lied to person in a company is often the management.
Yeah.
Uh,
Why is that?
I mean, my job depends on you approving of me. So I want to make sure and tell you what you want to hear, not necessarily what is my reality.
Yeah.
So creating a safe place for honesty, for openness, that's the goal of great coaching. So being a good coach and a good mentor is creating an environment and an atmosphere where honesty can thrive and where we work together.
Yeah, people all know the quote, you don't leave a company, you leave a manager.
Yeah.
And often that's the case, that managers get left behind because they're just not fulfilling the basic thing that their people need, but the people generally aren't communicating the thing that they need to stay.
Yeah. No, that is true. And frankly, I think often we don't even know what that is.
Yeah, which brings up the one of the previous points, which is you can do the analytic work yourself, or you can find someone who specializes in asking questions and finding clarity around your team so that you can jumpstart your team without becoming an expert in,
Yeah.
communication, discussion, investigation, and dissecting your own company. You probably
Yeah.
didn't become a leader in your organization by not doing the thing that led you to become a leader.
Yeah. 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 Having the forethought to bring in somebody from the outside to help you overcome your own personal bias, I think is an important strategy. And we all come to the table with predetermined notions about what we think is working and not working. And frankly, if there's a problem in your organization, the symptom that you think is the problem is probably not the problem. It's a deeper issue you're missing, and going deep enough to find it is really a key to make sure your team is working on the right side of the equation. Let's not fix a symptom. Let's identify the underlying issue and work on coming up with a solution for that.
Yeah, we're not interested in prescribing things, and most people aren't interested in prescriptions that alleviate surface level pains. The only time that's the case is when the pain is so great that you just need to avoid dealing with it in the current state of things.
Yeah.
But in general, just to recap, when it comes to motivating your sales force, what you want to pay attention to is the motivations of your people. You're
Yes.
not going to become a great motivator by motivating people the way you want to be motivated. So it starts with asking questions. And those questions are the key to getting clarity about what behaviors will really push you. And once you figure out the behaviors, then you can adjust and tweak the techniques to lead to success. Anyways, that's us with Sandler Training. Jim, any last thoughts before we leave people?
I think people want to be inspired. We're inspired by feeling significant. The best thing you can do to motivate your team to excellence is help them see their significance in your organization and to your clients.
Great. Well, that's us with Sandler Training in Boise, Idaho. If you're interested in finding out more about who we are and what we do, check out www.crossroads.sandler.com. Thank you. Have a good day.